President Donald Trump reiterated that the US needs Greenland and that Denmark cannot be relied upon to protect this island, even as he said that something will work out with respect to the future governance of the Danish overseas territory. Take a look at our next report telling you more about it.
We need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday made clear he was not backing down from his bid to take control of Greenland, saying he still believed that something will work out.
Greenland is very important for the national security, including of Denmark. And the problem is not a thing that Denmark can do about it if Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland, but there's everything we can do.
His comments followed a meeting at the White House between the foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark and Trump's vice president and secretary of state.
We didn't manage to change the American position.
Denmark's foreign minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen said fundamental differences over Greenland remained.
The discussions focused on how to ensure the long-term security in Greenland. And here our perspectives continue to differ, I must say. The President has made his view clear, and we have a different position. It's clear that the President has this wish of conquering over Greenland.
Rasmussen said the U.S. and Denmark plan to form a working group to discuss a broad array of concerns regarding the Danish overseas territory. Trump had repeatedly said in recent weeks that the strategically located and mineral-rich island is vital to national security and that only the U.S. can handle threats from Russia and China. Rasmussen disagreed.
But I must say that, of course, we share, to some extent, his concerns. There is definitely a new security situation in the Arctic and the High North. It was basically about security, and as I said, even though there's not an instant threat from China and Russia, at least not a threat we can't accommodate.
Greenland and Denmark say the island is not for sale, and prominent EU countries have backed Denmark, which is a member of the NATO alliance. Ahead of the meeting, Greenland and Denmark said they had begun to increase their military presence in and around Greenland, in close cooperation with NATO allies, as part of their promise to beef up Arctic defense. Germany, Sweden, and Norway each announced on Wednesday that they will be sending military personnel to the island this week.
US President Donald Trump shows no signs of backing down in his push to acquire Greenland. Europe now faces the challenge of protecting the strategically important Arctic territory from US's ambitions. Here is more.
Greenland, the Arctic island with just over 57,000 inhabitants, is the new flashpoint in the race between China, Russia, and the U.S. for global influence. At least if you ask U.S. President Donald Trump, it is.
If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will. And I'm not letting that happen. One way or the other, we're going to have Greenland.
Most U.S. allies disagree with Trump's claims that Greenland will soon fall to hostile Chinese and Russian forces. But NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte says the military alliance hopes to work with the U.S. to assure Greenland's safety and autonomy.
And currently we are discussing the next step to that, how to make sure that we give practical follow-up on those discussions to make sure that as an alliance we do everything collectively and through our individual allies to make sure that the Arctic stays safe, as we all agree that that has to be a priority.
That could mean more patrols by NATO forces in the waters off of Greenland and a NATO ground deployment. But will that be enough to assuage Trump's fears? Only time will tell. U.S. media reports say Trump may pay Greenlanders directly to secure their support for a U.S. takeover, and some locals already know if they'd accept the payments.
No. No.
No, 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 no.
If Donald Trump will buy Greenland, I will move away from Greenland.
As the U.S. continues to put pressure on its NATO allies, here in Greenland's capital at least, they're hoping cooler heads will prevail.